Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy The Synchronicity. Moi drodzy, udało nam się zdobyć klucz do skrzyni snów. Tak przynajmniej twierdziła Rose, a jest to prawdopodobnie zwyczajny klucz do mieszkania Michaela. Ale czy będzie on tam pasował? Sprawdźmy to. Okej, no dobra. Wybierzmy zatem klucz z naszego ekwipunku.
Let's see if my intuition is correct. Yes, the key that opens my chest of dreams is a key that in fact belongs to Michael Argent, photographer. The key to my own apartment.
Ale jak zgadł, jak ma na imię, mimo tego, że stracił pamięć. Szafa robocza. Co my tutaj mamy? Jest aparat. A skoro mamy aparat, to uda nam się zrobić zdjęcie beczek z naftą. Pozytywka.
The corner of a photograph peeking out of this old music box. It can't be. It's me. This photo. I remember it. I remember this photograph.
Please, Michael, help us. Only you can do it.
And this woman she's Emily. She's my wife. Now I remember her. The person who's been communicating with me all this time. Emily.
I love you, Michael.
And I now pronounce you.
Don't ever leave me.
I won't.
I have something to tell you, Michael.
Are you really? Oh, yes!
Things are not going well between us, Michael. You know that.
It's only a rough patch. You'll see. It's all your fault!
You have to get on top of this, Michael. It's destroying both of us. I'm afraid of you.
Shut up! Shut up! Everything will be different. Remember that vacation we took to the beach when we were getting to know each other? Everything will go back to the way it was.
Promise me.
I promise. Oh, Emily, what does all this mean? Where are you? How can I find you? What are these messages you keep repeating in my head? I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind. That's the only logical explanation for this. Oh, Emily. My poor Emily. Where are you? How can I find you?
No, widać, że życie Michaela i Emily nie zawsze było kolorowe i usłane różami. Na początku było dobrze, potem Michael prawdopodobnie popadł w jakiś alkoholizm, zaczął się robić agresywny, Emily się go bała. No cóż, życie.
Central Outrider. That's the name of this newspaper. Now I understand. This file cabinet holds copies of newspapers and magazines my photos appeared in. It seems like as a photographer, I was very fond of my own work.
Okej, no dobra.
Fairview Vanguard. That's the name of this newspaper. Disney Banker. The title of this publication appears in the front page.
Ale nie wiem, czy możemy znaleźć tutaj jakąś konkretną gazetę. Prawdopodobnie nie. A może i tak.
What for? None of these titles means anything at all to me. It's like looking into a mirror and seeing a reflection you no longer recognize staring back at you.
Tutaj mamy półki, pusta butelka.
As dry and as empty as the contents of my memory. I see various liquor bottles scattered around the room. That explains the odor I find so unbearable.
Może po prostu Emily od ciebie odeszła. Nie radziłeś sobie.
No, I'd only rip it if I tried to pull it down without first taking out the screws.
Przed odkręceniem wkrętów niestety nie mam żadnego śrubokręta w ekwipunku. Raczej nie sądzę, żebym jakiś śrubokręt tutaj znalazł. O! Otwarta szafa robocza. Myślałem, że coś tu jest na górze, jednak nie. Tło fotograficzne. No dobra, wydaje mi się, że w tym pokoju tylko i wyłącznie mogłem zabrać aparat. Być może...
It has a multitude of little drawers, all labeled in alphabetical order. The existence of something so logical and orderly in this place surprises me. Judging from the state of my place, I was obviously a rather messy person.
Być może też jest jakaś odpowiednia gazeta, którą możemy znaleźć i coś przeczytać na jakiś temat. Ale w sumie nawet nie wiem, pod którą literką mielibyśmy szukać. Ale dobra, skoro udało nam się zdobyć aparat, chodźmy zatem ponownie pod ośrodek medyczny i postarajmy się wykonać tam zdjęcia. Zdjęcia, które są potrzebne, żeby przekazać łowcy. A właśnie, ja wziąłem też latarkę. Zastanawiam się, czy będę mógł wejść teraz do tych kanałów.
Okay, here goes. I'll turn on the flashlight before going down any further. Great. These tunnels are a real labyrinth, and I'm afraid that the map on the cleanup brigade's GPS only shows the city at street level. There's no reference to the sewers in the GPS. I'd better turn back before I get lost. This could be very dangerous.
Czyli jednak nie mamy tam czego szukać, ale to nie szkodzi. Zawsze możemy udać się tędy. Przecięty drut z napięciem. Poczekajcie. Skład z beczkami.
If, as the hunter says, fuel is the currency of the new world, there's a real fortune stored here. I'm not surprised that the army has this place hidden and camouflaged. I have an excellent view of the hospital compound and the fuel depot from here. Shame the camera doesn't have any film in it.
Cholera no. Nie ma filmu w aparacie.
A somewhat antiquated model of an instant camera. Despite its appearance, it seems to be in perfect working order. I only see one problem. It has no film in it.
Skąd bym mógł zdobyć film do aparatu? Może po prostu udamy się do łowcy i mu powiemy: słuchaj, zdobyliśmy aparat, ale potrzebujemy kliszy. Ty możesz załatwić wszystko, praktycznie. No to może i kliszy załatwi.
Did you get me that photo of the hospital's fuel depot yet, Mike?
No, not yet.
What are you waiting for, dude? You know the deal. Bring me that photo and I'll give you whatever you want.
Jak już mówiłem, musisz na kilka minut odwrócić uwagę Roda Atkinsona i jego żony.
Like I said, I need you to distract Rod Atkinson and his wife for a few minutes. I need to be alone with the boy.
And that will be arranged, Michael. You have my word. But bring me that photograph first. Agreed?
Zgoda, zgoda. To gdzie w takim razie miałbym się udać, żeby taką kliszę zdobyć? Tutaj raczej niczego takiego nie będzie. A tutaj tym bardziej. Brudny materac, lustro. Rose jest szczęśliwa, Rose jest zadowolona. No i w sumie dobrze. O to nam chodziło. W przyczepie? Nie, nawet do niej nie możemy zajrzeć.
Oh no, here comes that sensation again. It's like floating in a dense liquid, while everything around me is transformed. Good God, I think I'm starting to lose my mind.
No nic. Chyba najlepszym rozwiązaniem będzie, jeżeli z powrotem cofniemy się do naszego mieszkania i postaramy się tam dokładnie rozejrzeć. Może faktycznie będzie gdzieś jakaś skrzynia albo coś, gdzie znajdę kliszę.
This must be the corner where I did my least complicated photographic jobs. Just a white backdrop, and these two shattered lamps to light the scene.
Pozytywka.
Stored safely inside this box. This is the only photograph I have left of Emily.
Może faktycznie w którejś z tych szafek znajdę kliszę.
Photo News Magazine, one of the many newspapers stored in the filing cabinet. Paper and Pen, that's the name of this newspaper. Question mark Examiner, the title of this publication appears on the front page.
O,
Red Valley Guard, one of the many newspapers stored in the filing cabinet. First, I'll put the newspaper I took back. As much as I might like my old photos, I have no intention of carrying around any more paper than necessary. Rural Daily Advance. That's the name of this newspaper. First, I'll put the news as much as I'm...
Okej, no dobra. Plan jest taki, żeby przejrzeć te wszystkie gazety.
Mills International Informer. The title of this... First, as much... Ocean Draw... First, as much... Objective Wanderer. First, as much... News and Reviews. The title of this publication...
Ale nie wiem, czy w ogóle to jest konieczne. Czego tak naprawdę ciekawego tutaj nie widzę.
Objective Wanderer. It's one of the many publications I was saving inside the file cabinet at home.
Ciekawe.
It's just a piece of paper with writing on it. How could I use it with this? Objective... It's the note I found on the door to the apartment.
TNT. TNT. Może to jest wskazówka. TNT. Poczekajcie. PRS. ST. Czyli to będzie gdzieś tutaj.
Solstice Times. One of the many newspapers stored in the filing cabinet. Sandy Ridge Sentinel. That's the name of this newspaper. The New Truth. The title of this publication appears in the front page. First, I'll put the newspaper I took back in its place. As much as I might like my old photos, I have no intention of carrying around any more paper than necessary.
Okej. Wydaje mi się, że to jest ta sama gazeta, która była tutaj.
The New Truth. The newspaper for those who have woken up. It looks like a decent publication, even though it was produced on a shoestring budget. The address of the office is at the bottom of the first page, and the article on the front page is under the byline of one Chris Blunstone. It seems like a good idea, but the GPS signal is very weak in here. I think it would be better to use it in an open area rather than indoors.
Okej, no dobra. Wyjdźmy na zewnątrz budynku, mamy adres redakcji. Za chwilę się tam udamy i zobaczymy, może spotkamy tego Chrisa.
Of course. The letters TNT on the letterhead of Sarah and Chris's note stand for the newspaper, The New Truth. I'll enter the address of the newspaper office shown on the front page. The map indicates a place near the main avenue of the city. Will it still be standing? Let's go find out.
Akt 4. Stare i nowe prawdy.
Good God, Michael, is that you?
There's no question about it. That's the person I saw in my vision. The person mentioned in the note I found in my house. What was his name? Hello, Chris.
Come in, quickly. It's dangerous to be out on the streets at this hour. Michael, I'm so glad to see you again. After all that time without hearing from you, Sarah and I feared the worst. But tell me, why didn't you come sooner? Where have you been all this time?
From his enthusiastic welcome, it looks like this man and I were good friends in the past, before the entire world collapsed. But can I trust him? I don't know. Do I have any other choice? It's a long story, Chris. Very long.
I'm all ears, old friend.
And while I tell him everything I can remember, the few things in my memory since waking up in Rod's trailer, I see a mixture of tenderness and compassion on his face. Something I haven't seen in anyone else since waking up in this hellhole. I haven't the slightest doubt. I can trust this man.
I'm sorry for everything that happened, Michael. Sarah and I had been trying to get in touch with you for a long time, but the Great Wave made it impossible to find you. Now I know why. As a matter of fact, she went out to take that note to your house. I haven't seen her since. Tell me, did you find Sarah? Did she tell you she was coming here?
Sarah? I'm sorry, but I just found this handwritten note on the door. That's all.
Of course, forgive me. You already told me that you were blanked. You don't remember her. Sarah is my wife. Emily and she were close friends. In fact, they ran the Beechwood Oracle bookstore together, right below your apartment. That's how you started working with us at The New Truth. And the two of you, Emily and you, became like family to us. I want you to know that what happened to Emily affected us deeply, Michael. Sarah was devastated. We could hardly bring ourselves to speak to you at the time. I'm so sorry for what happened to her.
What the hell are you talking about?
Good God. Don't tell me you don't remember that either. Emily died, Michael.
But that's impossible.
I'm sorry to be the one to make you relive that hell. You yourself told Sarah and me on the phone a little while before you returned home. It happened while the two of you were in Japan, scarcely a few days before the great wave hit. At the paper, we sent you on an assignment to do a photo essay on those strange lights that had been sighted in the sky over Tokyo. So you got all your photography equipment together and set off right away. Emily went with you. You two decided to use the trip as a chance to work on your marriage, which had been in trouble for a long time. You were in bad shape, Michael. Your financial problems, her miscarriages, your violent, self-destructive nature. Emily couldn't take it anymore. You were putting her through too much back then.
Things are not going well between us, Michael. You know that.
It's only a rough patch. You'll see. It's all your fault!
You have to get on top of this, Michael. It's destroying both of us. I'm afraid of you.
I can't help it. It's that demon. You know I can't help it.
From what you told us, things were getting better. After so many years, both of you were starting to rediscover each other.
Everything will be different. Remember that vacation we took to the beach? When we were getting to know each other? Everything will go back to the way it was.
Promise me.
I promise.
Until one night in your hotel, Emily started to feel sick. It all happened very fast. She was having fainting spells, vomiting, running a fever. You took her to the nearest hospital where she was admitted immediately.
Emily, what's happening? Emily! Emily!
And a few hours later, they told you she was dead. They wouldn't even let you see her body. They wouldn't let you see her. The Japanese authorities hustled you off on the next plane out. It was all very strange and disconcerting. And the very night you arrived, the great wave hit.
Oh, Emily. Now I remember it. I remember everything. I remember her pale, haggard face when she took my hand. Don't worry. It's nothing. Everything will be all right, she was saying, while they were wheeling her deep into the hospital, and she waved goodbye to me, forcing a smile to cover her fear. And then I saw it. I swear I could see how time was stopping, little by little, in her eyes. Emily can't be dead. She talks to me. I've been hearing her voice for some time now. You must think I've lost my mind.
From the little we were able to talk to you before you got back, we could see that her death hit you terribly hard, Michael. You felt extremely guilty for the way you treated her those last few years. You said you would never be able to forgive yourself. It's possible that the pain warped your mind, but it's also possible that what is happening to you is real.
If Emily died before the Great Wave, how can what's happening to me be real?
Let me tell you something. In spite of the catastrophe, at the new truth, we've never stopped working. For Sarah and for me, this newspaper is our life. And since the Great Wave, our contacts and confidential sources haven't stopped bringing us the most incredible and chilling information you could imagine. Thousands, no, millions of unexplained phenomena are taking place simultaneously all over the world, Michael. We're living through the strangest and most confusing times in our history, and any hypothesis, no matter how crazy, must be taken into consideration, even what you just told me. There's no question that something extraordinary is happening all over the world because of the Great Wave, the emergence of the dissolved, and our gradual approach to the dead synchronicity point.
Ogólnie wydaje mi się, że Emily zachorowała na tą dziwną chorobę i po prostu się rozpuściła w japońskim szpitalu. No tak, wszystkie zarazy na globalną skalę pochodzą z Japonii. Skąd to znamy? Zresztą my też jesteśmy prawdopodobnie zarażeni tym choróbskiem, stąd mamy te wizje, te ataki agresji itd., itd. Tak, Wielka Fala, słyszę o niej odkąd się obudziłem.
Yes, the Great Wave. People have been telling me about it since the moment I woke up.
Everyone talks about it, but no one really knows what it is. Did you know that the catastrophe didn't just strike here, but all over the world? They keep us isolated and misinformed. but that's the truth. The Great Wave didn't just destroy this city. It affected the entire planet. And the most surprising thing is that it all happened simultaneously, at the exact same moment everywhere on Earth. Isn't that amazing? There's never been an official account of the catastrophe. They don't want to tell us. But at the New Truth, we know a lot of things they don't want us to know.
They? Who are they?
The elite, the army, the shadow government, whoever is in control at any particular moment. They're determined to maintain the power structures of the old world by any means. The irony is, for the moment, any notion of order or control is absurd. The rules of the game have changed completely, and the entire world is slipping through their fingers. They're disoriented and frightened, and they'll do anything to prop up the old system. That's what makes them so dangerous. But information weakens them, makes them vulnerable. And that's why we have to keep investigating, Michael. It's our duty to uncover the truth.
Rozpuszczeni to straszna choroba.
The dissolved. That horrible disease.
Yes, the fate of those poor devils. That's the cruelest and saddest part of this story. From reliable sources, we've been able to find out that while it is true the Great Wave multiplied the number of dissolved drastically, a few early cases of dissolution were actually detected hours, even days before the catastrophe.
What? There were cases of the dissolved before the Great Wave?
Yes, Michael. Just a handful of victims scattered across the globe. But the timing is significant. What's more, people have told us shocking stories about those victims.
I could tell you one. Colin, the only child of the family that took care of me in the refugee camp, is a dissolved. Just a few hours ago, in a deep trance, he shouted out my name, insisting that he needed to talk to me. He kept saying that he wanted to give me a message from Emily.
Good God, Michael. And what was that message?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but I will. His condition is very serious, and I have to hurry.
If only we had more information about the disease, what it is, where it came from. If only we knew a little bit more about those strange underground highways they talk about so much during their trances. We need more information. At the New Truth, all we have are a few eyewitness reports here and there, and a handful of tests for detecting the disease that we were able to steal from one of the cleanup brigades. And that's not very much when you're trying to put together a puzzle as obscure and complicated as this one.
Synchronia śmierci, co to jest?
Dead synchronicity. What's that?
It's very difficult to explain, Michael. We're still so short of information. But I will tell you one thing. Time is running out. The Great Wave triggered a landslide of death and destruction that's accelerating by the day. And the end will be absolutely devastating.
Look around you, Chris. It's impossible for the situation to get worse.
If the theory about the approach of the dead synchronicity point is true, the future that awaits us will make everything we've seen up to now seem like a walk in the park, Michael. The arrival of the dead synchronicity point will mean the end of the world as we know it. The end of the laws of nature, the laws of physics, the very meaning of existence. And with them, of course, the end of the human species on the face of the earth. Our inability to adapt will wipe us out in a matter of minutes, and indeed, in some cases, it's already happening. But the good news is that if this hypothesis is correct, the very nature of this anomaly could also allow us to reverse the situation.
Reverse the situation? You mean avoid the future you're talking about? Avoid the consequences of the Great Wave? Is that possible?
Of course it is. How can I explain it to you? No, not yet. It would be too complex for you to understand, and I don't want to create any false hope. I can't tell you anything more for the time being. We need more information, more sources, and we need them urgently. Time is running out, in every sense of the word.
I need answers too, Chris. Where can I find the information you need? How can I help you?
A few days ago, one of our confidential sources in the Army contacted the New Truth. He told us he had a bombshell in his hands, an official report of the results of all the investigations conducted to date on the Great Wave, the dissolved, and the dead synchronicity point. It's a real gold mine, Michael. The answer to our prayers.
And where is that report now?
The same day she left the note at your house, Sarah was supposed to meet our source at the same place we always meet people who cooperate with the new truth, which had been the safest place in the city up to that point. The sewers. But she never came back, Michael. I was hoping she'd found you. Or perhaps some problem had come up in the sewers, and she'd taken refuge in your apartment.
Don't worry, Chris. Sarah will be fine.
Yes, I know. Sarah is a strong woman and very resourceful. I know she can take care of herself. If you want to help us, Michael, get us that report. I'm trapped in this basement in this wheelchair, but I know that you'll be able to get it for me. It's vitally important that we get it. That's where we'll find the answers to all our questions. Even answers about Emily and her messages. Follow the trail of Sarah and our source. Go down into the sewers and find some clue that can lead us to them. But be very careful down there. It's dangerous.
Dangerous? You just told me the sewers were the safest place in the city.
Indeed, they were. That's why they became the perfect hiding place for the dissolved and their families. For some time now, the army has been reinforcing its dragnets for catching the dissolved hiding in the sewers. If they find you in one of those tunnels, they'll shoot first and ask questions later.
I'll be fine.
Take this. You'll need something to guide you. The city sewer system is a veritable labyrinth. I've marked the exact spot where the meeting was supposed to take place. It's a huge subterranean gallery where several pipes converge. Michael, please, bring me that report. And for the love of God, bring Sarah back to me safe and sound.
I'll do it.
Okej, czyli chcąc nie chcąc, tak czy inaczej musimy zejść do kanałów. Ale zanim tam pójdę, jeszcze się dokładnie tutaj rozejrzę.
Locked with a key. I'm afraid that Chris doesn't trust anyone, and the way things turned out after the Great Wave, he's doing the right thing.
Ale nam może zaufać, tym bardziej, że potrzebujemy kliszy. Jeżeli klisza jest w tym regale, no to na pewno nam się to przyda. Zdjęcie Sara.
While I can't remember her clearly, looking at this photograph gives me a pleasant sense of tranquility. I'm sure Sarah and I were very good friends before the world collapsed.
No jeżeli ją odnajdziemy i będzie żywa, no to się przekonamy, czy byliśmy przyjaciółmi.
Oh Lord, I'm completely exhausted. I feel like I've been wandering around this new world for centuries, but I can't stop to rest now. Not until Chris and I have uncovered the secrets in that army report. Dozens of documents and newspaper clippings about conspiracies, attacks, inexplicable occurrences. Looking at the topics of all this material, I can imagine what the editorial line of the new truth is.
Notatki i wycinki z gazet. No dobra, spróbuję jeszcze raz porozmawiać z Chrisem i zapytam się, czy ma klucz do tego kufra.
Chris, I need you to refresh my memory of a few concepts.
Co w dniu trust wiecie o Wielkiej Fali? Opowiedz raz jeszcze, co wiesz o rozpuszczonych. Opowiedz raz jeszcze o synchronii śmierci.
I won't bother.
Nawet nie mogę się go zapytać, co znajduje się w kufrze.
It belongs to Chris. Although I could open it with this crowbar, I have no intention of breaking the lock on this chest. What kind of friend would do that?
Normalny. Przyjaciel psuja. Może kawałkiem zęba to otworzymy.
I don't see how I can use the
Chris, chcesz zęba?
I prefer to hold on to it. I think this will be more useful to me.
Nie chcesz, okej. No dobra. Mamy mapę kanałów, więc chyba nie pozostaje nic innego, jak się tam udać.
It's a map with handwritten notes, describing how to get to Sarah's meeting place with her source. Without this, walking through those tunnels would be a rather dangerous waste of time.
Mamy mapkę, mamy latarkę, więc myślę, że bezproblemowo tam trafimy.
Here goes. I'll use the map Chris gave me as a guide. These tunnels are a real labyrinth. This is the place marked on the map, the place where Sarah and her confidential source were found.
Laguna, wodospad.
This is where that river of filthy water ends. It's funny. Despite the nauseating stench it gives off, there's something hypnotic about that viscous green waterfall. The underground rivers that carried the sewage and garbage from Doomsday City lead here. If I ever thought I couldn't fall any lower, this place helps me remember how mistaken I was.
Łuski nabojów.
They wouldn't be of any use to me. These bullets have already been fired.
Czyli prawdopodobnie doszło tutaj do strzelaniny. Jeżeli faktycznie Sara się spotkała z informatorem, to musieli uciekać. Częściowo rozkopana sterta śmieci.
I've been able to remove some of the waste, but I won't be able to remove the rest of it with my hands. This stuff is too snarled up.
Łom?
All right. Let's see what the devil's so tangled up in here. My God! Sarah! A bullet's torn off her jaw, but her face is still recognizable. Poor Chris. How am I gonna break this to him?
Ale Sara trzyma w ręce jakiegoś pendrive'a.
There's no doubt that Sarah bled to death while using the last of her strength, trying to drag herself out of here. A flash drive. It's sticking out of the corpse's clenched fist. Sarah is holding on to it for dear life, even in death.
Okej. No kurde no, myślałem, że spotkamy Sarę żywą. Ale tak jak Chris mówił, wyszła i nie daje żadnych oznak życia. Więc mogliśmy się tego spodziewać, że nie żyje. Dobra, ale nie chciałem przychodzić tutaj. Chciałem się udać do Chrisa.
Hello, Chris.
Michael, you're back already? Tell me, did you find Sarah? Did you bring the report she went out to get?
I brought the report. Here it is.
Well, that's great news. I knew you could do it. Ah, damn it. I should have guessed. I was expecting a paper dossier, not an electronic document. We have a serious problem, Michael.
Problem? What's wrong?
We're not in the old world anymore, and access to electricity is a privilege very few people have nowadays. The good news is that I was able to save my old laptop from the Great Wave. The bad news is that we don't have anywhere to plug it in.
What can we do?
If we want to find out the secrets in this report, we need electricity. Bring me a generator with enough fuel, and we'll find all the answers we need, Michael. But tell me, please, did you find Sarah? Why didn't she come back with you? What happened?
Nie martw się, Chris. Znalazłem wiele śladów, które wskazują na to, że Sara jest cała i bezpieczna. Przykro mi, Chris, Sara nie żyje. Bądźmy szczerzy, powiedzmy prawdę, nie okłamujmy.
I'm sorry, Chris. Sarah's dead.
God, but what?
It looks like she and your confidential source were ambushed and shot by soldiers in the sewers. I found Sarah's body in one of the graded tunnels, near the refugee camp. I took the report out of her hands, but I had to leave her there.
Oh, my poor Sarah. She didn't deserve that. Please, Michael, don't leave her body to rot in the sewers. I beg of you. Do it for me, for Sarah, for Emily.
I'll do what I can, Chris. I promise you.
Now, get me that electric generator. Time is running out.
No tak, ale żeby przynieść generator, by musiał się pozbyć zbirów.
What do we have here? As one would expect, there are only old magazines, stacks of paper, and outdated printing supplies here. No, wait a minute. It looks like there's also film for instant cameras here.
No i świetnie. Mamy to, czego nam tak naprawdę brakowało.
Perfect. Now I can load the camera. The tab that closes the film compartment is broken. I can't use it like this. I need something to hold it in place, or else the film will keep falling out.
Potrzebuję coś, co zablokuje film, może kawałek zęba.
I can't believe it. The tooth fragment fits perfectly into the slot for the broken tab. Now I can close the film compartment.
Czyli warto było dostać w pierdziel. Mamy załadowany aparat. Szkoda mi Chrisa, naprawdę. Tak wiele ludzi niewinnych ginie.
Before leaving his house, I shoot a furtive glance at Chris. He's gazing at Sarah's photo in silence, completely lost in thought. Maybe I should have lied about what happened to her. told him that she got away, leaving the report behind, that she's safe and sound, and just waiting for the right moment to come back. The truth is a poisonous inheritance from the old world. What good does it do to know it, if it snatches away your last hope?
Ja nie wiem, czy gdyby Chris żył w nieświadomości, albo w świadomości, że Sara może jeszcze wrócić, nie cierpiałby bardziej niż dowiedzieć się, że nie żyje i pogodzić się z tym losem. Okej, no dobra, chodźmy zatem wykonać tę fotografię. Następnie udamy się do łowcy i postaramy się porozmawiać z Colinem.
Okay, here goes. Damn it, it came out too dark, and the flash doesn't help much. You can hardly make out the depot. The photo is useless like this. I need more light.
Potrzebuję więcej światła.
I don't think... This camera already has a built-in flash.
Potrzebuję więcej światła. Mam sznur przepalonych lampek. Mapa kanałów. Czarny worek, dobra. Ja chyba wiem, w jaki sposób będę mógł przetransportować ciało Emily. Po prostu włożyć ją do czarnego worka.
This corpse deserves a decent burial, not to be put in a dirty, used plastic bag.
A, czyli jednak nie. O, i dostałem achievement. No co, chciałem pobawić się, wiecie, w usługi pogrzebowe. Potrzebuję więcej światła. Skąd zdobyć więcej światła? Gdybym miał śrubokręt, na pewno bym mógł odkręcić tamtą plandekę, która jest u mnie w domu.
After the Great Wave, this device is a real archaeological artifact from the old world, like an ancient coin or a dinosaur bone. It looks like it's in good shape, except for one thing. There's nowhere to plug it in.
Zobaczę, może coś jeszcze tutaj znajdę.
Now that I've taken the film out, there's only paper and old junk left in there, all coated in a thick layer of dust. Hello, Chris.
Michael,
No,
if we want to find out the secrets and bring me the generator,
I'll do it.
but hurry.
Potrzebujemy generator. Tylko w jaki sposób odwrócić uwagę tych zbirów?
Hey, you guys.
You talking to us?
Jesteście odrażający, więc ten interes to tak naprawdę kolejny biznes łowcy.
I don't have anything else to discuss with you two.
Okay, come back anytime you like. You paid for her. The door to the van is open to you all night long.
Chyba że Rose w jakiś sposób mogłaby mi pomóc.
No. Talking to her again would only feed the...
Jednak nie.
There's makeup scattered at the foot of this mirror. I suppose those savages out there force Rose to put on makeup to make herself look older than she really is.
Lustro by się nam mogło przydać, żeby postawić je przy tamtych beczkach i po prostu, nie wiem, żeby się odbijało światło i była lepsza widoczność. Tutaj nic nie zrobię, tu nic nie zrobię. Więc wychodzi na to, że muszę coś zrobić w mieście. Tylko problem polega na tym, że nie mam zielonego pojęcia co.
No. I'd only rip it if I tried to pull it down.
Nie mam nic takiego w ekwipunku, czym bym mógł to odkręcić. Sznur przepalonych lampek.
A string of lights with every single one of its bulbs smashed. I'd say this is a present by the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
W sumie to my widzieliśmy gdzieś lampki choinkowe. I one były w przyczepie z Rose. Mogłoby to być jakieś źródło światła. Pod warunkiem, że nasze lampki by działały. Tu są lampki choinkowe.
Use this here? How? A string of Christmas lights is the only source of light in this room. The reflections of the colors make this place seem even gloomier and more sordid.
Ale nie mogę wykręcić żadnej żarówki.
It would break Rose's heart to see me stealing her baby's clothes. I'm not gonna do that to her.
No dobra. Jestem w kropce, przyznaję się. Moi drodzy, w tym miejscu kończymy ten odcineczek. Nie chcę teraz tracić swojego cennego czasu na szukanie, co muszę robić dalej. Tym bardziej, że i tak planowałem krótszy ten odcinek niż zawsze.
Oh no. It's starting again. It's amazing. Everything's changing. Everything. Everything is mutating, and I haven't even moved. I don't understand. I don't understand anything.
Tak więc to tyle, jeżeli chodzi o ten odcineczek. Słyszymy się w kolejnym już w poniedziałek. Dzięki wielkie za uwagę. Trzymajcie się. Hej!